What's up, Castlers? LFL7 here with more Let's Castle action. Today we continue with Game 2 of the second round of the 2023 Shocktober tournament between GStrong100 with white this time and Kingslayer46 with the black pieces. Slayer needs a win in this game, otherwise he will be eliminated from the tournament as he was defeated in Game 1 by the mighty Gorilla, also known as GStrong100. This game began on October 27th and was concluded on November 16th. Let's get into it. G-Strong starts off with pawn to e4, and Kingslayer responds with pawn to c5. This is the Sicilian defense. Bishop to c4, G-Strong continues with the Bowdler attack. Then pawn to d6, pawn to h3, knight to f6, knight to c3, pawn to a6, pawn to a3, pawn to e6, pawn to d3, bishop e7, knight to f3, kingside castle, queen to c7, bishop to f4, continue with knight to c6, rook e1, then Kingslayer surges forward to attack the bishop. G-Strong hides his bishop in the cut, bishop b7 from Slayer, queen d2, rook fd8, queen e2, rook a to c8. G-Strong gets tired of pouring around and he wants to induce some fireworks, so he plays pawn to e5. So then you get takes, and then Slayer plays pawn to b4, which is a blunder because it loses material with the play of knight takes f7. Now, you can't take back with your king because you'll get forked by that bishop on a2. So you got to play queen to c6, pawn to f4, b takes c3, knight takes d8, rook takes d8, queen takes e6 check, queen takes e6, bishop takes e6 check, king to f8, and b takes c3. And as you can see, you're up 2 points. But G-Strong actually missed that move, and he played knight b1. However, Slayer played pawn to a5, which the computer did not like because that same knight sack is still there, and G-Strong would still end up winning material. They would have liked for Slayer to have rather played rook to e8. The game continues with bishop to d4, knight g4, knight takes g4, queen takes g4, Slayer checks the king, G-Strong moves the king out of harm's way, Slayer hits the queen with his rook, so G-Strong moves the queen to safety. The computer didn't like bishop to g3. They felt queen to c3 was the better move. And you can't take that bishop because if you do, well, that's your funeral with queen takes g2 checkmate. But let's move on. Knight d2 from G-Strong. Queen to f4. Knight f3, G-Strong attacks the rook. Slayer takes the knight on f3. G-Strong takes back with his queen. Takes, and f takes e6 really is a missed opportunity for Slayer to take control of this game. Snagging that bishop on c4 was the better move, as you would get a rook e2, rook h4, rook takes f2, rook takes h3 check, king to g2, moving it to a safe spot, and then rook h5, and Slayer would have a 1-point lead, and the eval bar says his position is better. But it's a hard to find move. Slayer soaks things up like a sponge, and I'm sure he will learn from this. But getting back to the actual position, after Slayer took back with his pawn, G-Strong takes with check, and Slayer moves his king out of the way. G-Strong snatches the hanging rook and is now leading by 1 material point. Slayer then targets the f3 pawn. King g2 guards it. Slayer goes after another vulnerable pawn, and G-Strong guards that one also. So Slayer starts moving his king in. We get an exchange of pawns. Then bishop to b7, king f6, pawn to b3, pawn to g5. G-Strong takes an open file with his rook. Slayer moves his bishop to a more active square, trying to give it more scope in this endgame, and I think that's a good job by him. G-Strong offers a rook trade. Slayer pushes his h-pawn, bishop to c8. You then get the rook exchange. Then bishop to f4, king to f3. Slayer moves his king in closer as well. Bishop to g4. And that's basically it, as neither could make progress, and the game ended on a draw due to repetition. So with GStrong's second victory over Kingslayer, that means Slayer is unfortunately eliminated from the tournament, and it is the mighty Gorilla who advances into the next round. Congratulations to him. So far, as of right now, Chevalier Chess, Tillboy, and GStrong have advanced into the next rounds. We are still waiting on YDTD and Tibbs 0111 to finish their round. So that's going to do it for this video. I'm LFO7 saying stay tuned, and I'll see you soon.